Sometimes I do need somebody else to be mean for me. I'm autistic and I have a history of sexual assault with men.
Okay, so before I even say what I want to say, I just want to, if you ever see this video, I want to give you my deepest respect and my deepest appreciation for even bringing this up. Because we live in a society, and by the way, just a side note, that's also why also men need feminism. But men don't understand that in many, many cases. Or most men don't understand that. They think feminism is all about the right of women. No, it's not, babe. It's not. Because you as a man, you suffer because of other men. But you don't even understand that because you are socialized and raised to think that you should man up and boys don't cry, right? Also, and that leads me back to my initial thoughts, I have so much respect for men that come up on this app and actually have the guts and find it in themselves to speak about what other men did to them. Because like I said, we live in a society that, one, doesn't believe victims, okay? And secondly, we live in a society that constantly puts men on some type of role of being the protector and the provider, and they don't have feelings, they don't get to cry, they don't be emotional, they are untouchable, etc., etc. We are told that men hold power. But what we miss in that entire perspective is that men abuse that power towards other men too. And those men are then by the same men oppressed for speaking out against their own oppression. So when we talk about feminism and why feminism is necessary for everybody, this is why. And that leads me back to my second point. And yes, I understand and I see it the same way. The rights of men are not my priority. I'm sorry to say it, but it is what it is, because men have always had rights. Men have never been debated in their power, have never been taken their ability away from them, have never been underestimated, have never been told, oh, how are you going to handle fatherhood and your job? Men have never been the oppressed ones, okay? White men. Of course, there are layers of oppression because of racism, because of classism, because of homophobia, transphobia, etc., etc. We get that. There are layers to oppression, okay? But that's exactly my point. Just because rights of white men are not my opinion, my priority, and should not be anybody's priority, because like I said, they've never been negated of their rights. They've never been not the standards, okay? If I see a white man like this person I just staged now, and with his explanation, and you want to debate his living reality with me, and you want to tell me how, oh, he shouldn't be, I will punch your fucking face off. Okay? I will eat you alive. Because shut the fuck up. What do you mean? There's someone he's autistic, one, okay? Because why are you being ableist? One. Two, he has been assaulted by men. Shouldn't you be able to relate to that as a woman? Shouldn't you know how it feels? Because yes, we all know. We all know. That is why women going in a room full of men is a nightmare for us. But men going into a room full of women, in most cases, is like heaven for them. Okay? The living realities are different, babe. So if you as a woman find yourself debating, negating, or trivializing the living responsibility or the living reality of people because they appear to be men or because they are men, and they explain to you how they suffer under men, and the first thing you do is, you didn't have to bring up your sexual assault as a got you line. You need to shut the fuck up. Okay? You need to shut the fuck up. Yes, there are priorities. There should be priorities, okay? Because there are people that have it worse than others. But where do we draw the line? Because this slips into whataboutism in the blink of an eye. Just because someone else has it worse, your pain is not invalid, okay? And that's the point. That's exactly the point, because there needs to be space for all these conversations. And we need to absolutely, and we don't do that enough, talk about men being assaulted by men, because it happens way more times than you could ever imagine. I personally know people. I know men that have been abused by men. I know men that have been abused by women. And we don't talk about these things enough because men need to man up, right? So if they dare and speak up, there was a trigger warning. There was an example of a 4-year-old schoolboy that was a kindergartner that was actually assaulted by his kindergarten teacher. If you go to the comments, I swear with my life, you cannot eat enough because the way you want to vomit it's never going to be enough. There were men in this comment section. Why did nobody do this to me when I was a kid? Oh, he got lucky. Oh, he's the lucky one. Oh, why couldn't I be on his place? What the fuck? And then you wonder why we choose the bear? Because even when a fellow man is assaulted, a fellow male presenting person is assaulted, y'all will still gaslight that person into thinking they should have liked it. What y'all do with women is exactly what you do with men. So in that sense, there is not much difference. The way a woman suffered under the hands of a man, there are so many men that suffered under the hands of men too. And we need to give that room. Then it needs to be talked about. There needs to be a lot more education about that. And it needs to be taken very, very seriously. Because it isn't. Because dare you sit with your bros and come up and be like, man, I was assaulted. And if you're unfortunate and the person was a woman, either way you're unfortunate, and you tell your mates how you were assaulted by a woman, I've seen the responses. I've seen them. I heard the way men talk to other men when they tell them, oh, I was assaulted by a woman. How is that even going to be possible? How can you be assaulted by a woman? You're supposed to enjoy it. What the fuck? What the actual fuck?